DDD, the Metalmorph pile, and even some love for the Sacred Beast. Make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. You know, seeing DDDs actually kind of being a nice little upfront and fun challenger, I think is really, really cool to see, because all things considered here, I mean, DDD is still kind of like the combo hybrid deck that you would love to, see doing well. But make sure you guys smash the link crap out of that subscribe button so you guys don't miss out on more awesome content. So the OTS championships have come and gone, and we have seen a lot of very cool, interesting little challengers kind of just doing relatively well in the background of the format. One of those decks, like I said here, has been DDD, actually doing great optionally. You know, you have so many cool options available with DDD, that you can kind of tech in with your tech slots. I mean, playing, however many count survey you want to play, how many, Friezas you want to choose to play within the deck. It's all about those cool tech choices. Also, I mean, DD Crow is an option in this deck, is really, really cool. This deck is very, very built on the ground up of, they like their hand traps in, 2 of ratios, 2 Fuas, 2 Crows, 2 Drolls, thanks, and then 3 Bells, 3 Ashes, and so forth. In terms of the side deck, you see that we have the traps actually sided down here. Depending on what your matchup is, you can bring in whichever of the traps that you need to kind of be able to pivot to handle those different situations. You could make the argument that maybe, you want to main deck one of these, but I don't think you really want to hurt the deck's consistency, because you're already playing 43 cards as it is. You've already got to make sure that you're getting those maximum consistency numbers, or else the deck just kind of cramps down on itself and just kind of goes to the wayside. That's not exactly something that this deck can really afford to do. It has to be as consistent as it can be, or, things just kind of go to the wayside, and you cannot be risking that with a deck like this. Consistency, consistency, consistency to make sure that the deck is able to do as much as it can. Cool to see Dark Bright Armageddon doing something. Next up here, my God, the pile decks. Now, this duelist is very, very notorious for cooking with all of the awesomeness that we usually get to see with the Metalmorph stuff. They have become, honestly, I think one of the more, probably the best Metalmorph duelist that still continues to play this deck out of the OCG. And honestly, I think it's quite refreshing to see that, a duelist like this is still able to do things. Now, you are looking at a 60 card pile here. There's more to this than just the Metalmorph stuff in general. Your deck is doing other things, but also, let's digest your engines here. So you are playing Red Eyes Metal Claw with the Zoa stuff, just to be able to get to the Omni Negate. Like, that's honestly why you're insulating the package here, right? Is because getting to the Black Metal Dragon to get that set up is absolutely worth every penny of the investment, because Omni Negates are a little bit more rare in modern times, but they're, worth it. You're playing the Roll-Ad package, because let's be honest here, like, this package usually just gets you very, 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 very big advantage. You do play the Horus package in here, additional filtering packages. It's also another bridge into D-Mod to be able to kind of filter into the ultimate end goal, which is getting another Omni Negate established on the field. And then, of course, you do see the Fiendsmith package in here, which also, the reason why you're choosing to play this Wave King Kaiser. This build is all about getting maximum protection on your castle to make sure that, you've got all of the endpoints that you need. You're going to make sure that, whatever end board you're initially pushing for here is going to be good enough to get things done. And honestly, deck does absolutely wonderfully at that. I'm not surprised to see, honestly, like rank 6 turbo good stuff still doing what it does. So, welcome to the era, people. This is good Yu-Gi-Oh! 101. I love pile decks. Next up here, the Sacred Beast have Watan. Oh no. This is one of the most basic Sacred Beast lists I think I have seen in a very, very long time. First of all, they're cutting out the Abyss of the Sacred Beast, which is probably one of the better decisions you can make within this deck. Because honestly, Uriah is not exactly one of the best cards you want to pull. But also, the deck, you need consistency. You need this deck to click and go, click and go. If it's not really igniting in the way that it needs to, then your consistency is just going to be shot out underneath and you're just going to cry. And Haman and Ravel are going to be the ones you do want to do it. They've also cut the Summoner of the Sacred Beast down to 1, which I feel like is, a little bit better. Card of the Soul. This is where the value is, man. starting off being able to bridge into a Haman and just go, all right, well, I've got full essential combo here. Like, what you gonna do? The answer is they ain't gonna do shit because there just is not much that they can do. That's the reality of the situation. Side deck down here. We do see Diabells coming in. This has been something that's been popping up a little bit more often because, you know, you do get access to the giant extra deck package of the specific transcode, Charmer, Quartet, and Bloom, and so forth. And they've also got the double Thunder Dragon Colossus. Yay! Who doesn't love being able to end on Colossus, make it so that the opponent can't actually do any searching? The answer is everybody loves ending on Colossus. That's why you choose to play this deck, man. Colossus is such an unfun card for this deck just to kind of get set up on, but it's the reality of the situation you've got now, man. This deck is just how many good floodgates can we kind of combo through while, you know, using modern era good stuff to do its thing. It still kind of chalks it up into the rogue deck more or less as one of those challengers, but it's definitely still here doing exactly what you want it to do. So, all right, Sacred Beast, also only 2 field spell is kind of nice. Next up here. Oh my god, we have the Purely Rollad special. Now this list has extended out into 45 cards. And I will tell you, this is not the first case of Purely that we've seen doing well out of the block. I've seen 2 out of the OTS weekends that were actually just kind of doing exceedingly well. I don't know who, where, why, when, or how, you know, this deck was going to resurface. But the thing is, you know, having access to Farah off of, you know, Purely stuff is really, really funny because this is going to ensure that your Purely will be able to connect onto the field, which, you know, basically starts the deck going. But also at the same time, you know, Farah also makes sure that your Mind Shuffle won't be interactable. And, you know, you can do the Bounceroo, make sure that, you know, the ritual monsters are attaching down onto the field so you can kind of rotate through them and actually be able to do your job. Also, you know, the yummy stuff gives you tools to drop off the skull, which then ends up being filtering options further for the deck. You've got a lot of good options in this deck, man. I didn't realize how good the multiple outlets for you to kind of filter through would actually be. And honestly, I think that's the reason why this deck is doing so well. There's also really funny things in this deck. Ashelon U1000 is a little tech choice. The Saruja being able to dig you further into the deck to find you more tech choices, just to make sure that, you know, we can put that pressure on the opponent. Thank you, filtering. You've definitely done a good job at just showcasing to me what a deck like this can do. And honestly, if you're looking to play Purely right now, there's not a lot of builds that are really going to have outs to Nor. I mean, like, they exist within the game, but the game is not currently calling for us to shift onto an access to actually try to play those out. So based on that right now, I mean, hey man, if this is the case that we're dealing with, I mean, you may as well go play this deck and actually just be the biggest jerk you can be. Then we have Fairy Tale. Honestly, until we get the last little bit of the Fairy Tale stuff we need, this deck doesn't feel massively exciting to play. I mean, like, Genia was good, but, like, let's be honest, like, having Mixosia as that little extra deck card has helped this deck's consistency a little bit nicely. I also see the Cosmo Queen and the Sacred Village continue to be kind of the scourge of the earth when it comes to this deck, as being able to bridge this and set this up, you know, and, you know, it's not like your deck doesn't already have access into, like, good control. Also, interestingly enough, we're playing an Invocation Sword in here, which, I mean, it is a free fusion summon, or a free fusion enabler on a quick play, which means, I mean, we can make Aeon during the opponent's turn, which at that point, you know, we're just kind of getting into some cheesy interactions with ripping away from the opponent. You know, if this is truly the route we're going with here, and we're using the Invocation Sword as an extra form of disruption, my god, this game has just developed into some craziness. But, I mean, this is what I kind of expect with these sorts of interactions, right? Like, if your deck can just use brilliant interactions like this to control the opponent, then, you know, you should probably be doing that, because that's just kind of what this is about. But interesting. So, OTS weekend, I mean, we've seen a lot of cool things floating around here. I like that you are seeing so many different options be available in the deck building space to actually work with. And that's honestly really, really cool. So please, take a second to leave a comment down below, tell me what you guys think, and I'll see your beautiful faces back later in the day, guys. Patrons, thank you.
Thank you so much for watching. Check out these other videos.